Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TechRaptor Podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
Andrew Rotten, editor-in-chief.
Andrew Stritch, not editor-in-chief. Just a different Andrew altogether.
Just a different Andrew.
Yeah, it's almost like you have different last names for that. Crazy.
Huh? No, all Andrews are the same last name.
Yeah, we are all the same. The last name is actually a title that we give ourselves. And then we have our communal title, which is normally the hierarchy of the video game website that you write for.
Or like a hive mind. So like there's a reason why like he's a different part of it. So he likes a lot of stuff I don't, and I really don't like those things. That's why we're so opposite all the time. But then there's some shared commonalities because we're from the same being.
Right. Yeah. I always think of a hive mind as you agree with everything because you're the same.
No, this is a split up.
Our hive mind is a democracy.
Yeah.
We're allowed individual thoughts within the hive mind.
We all take up a different part of the brain.
Yeah, that's how that works for sure. It's pretty much just like society. We live in a society.
You're acting as though there's real hive minds out there. I can make up whatever fucking rules I want, all right? These are my rules.
Yeah. No, insects don't have hive minds at all for sure.
No.
This week, we're just going to talk about a random smattering assortment of games, including the big Xbox partner showcase that happened in the middle of last week. Big, huge, bigly, major announcement. The biggest. I hear people are saying it's the biggest Xbox announcement of the year. We're going to go over that and then also chat more about Metaphor ReFantazio and also a bit of Mario Party Jamboree. But I think let's just kick it off and let's give this Xbox showcase the attention it deserves.
So for me, the biggest thing that came out of this was that Animal Well is now playable on Xbox. Anyone who hasn't played that game yet, go fucking play it. It's incredible. I think it's still my game of the year contender.
I really wonder how people received that announcement in the showcase for people who watched it. Yeah, because it was just Donkey saying like, and there are shadows and things come out of the shadows, so you have to hide in the shadow. Like it was just Donkey being Donkey, and I wonder how many people watched that and were like, "The fuck is Animal Well?"
That's the same. Before the game released, he had a launch trailer, and like, in all fairness, how do you market a game? The whole point of the game is that everything is a puzzle. Like, how do you show not enough that it doesn't tease or spoil anything? But yeah, like the pre-marketing for it was also like, he was playing CS:GO or something, and in voice chat was just telling people to pre-order Animal Well and said that it was like Halo. And
but that's so Donkey, right? Like,
yeah, it's very, very Donkey.
Yeah. I guess it hits different when it's like a dumb gaming video on his own channel and a Phil Spencer sanctioned Xbox showcase. Like, yeah.
People really like Donkey's humor. It makes sense to put it wherever.
Yeah.
He's a weird dude.
That's true. Is there one thing? I mean, so Stretch, you came out swinging with what you liked in this. Andrew, do you have a big favorite?
I have to choose. Like I have to give you an answer.
Gun to your head.
I'm just looking at it again real quick. Give me a second.
I could go if you'd like.
What are the names of these?
Pirate Yakuza.
Mistfall Hunter? What?
Yo, that new Pirate Yakuza trailer looked dope. They just showed off a bunch of naval warfare gameplay that looks like what everyone's wanted from Black Flag 2 for the past like 10 plus years. Yeah. And I'm here for it, man. It looks so good.
You mean they not only managed to pull off Skull and Bones, but they're now releasing it a week early?
Yeah, they're releasing it a week early, which I think is probably more to avoid the Wild Monster Hunter that will be also out on the 28th. So now the Pirate Yakuza is coming out on the 21st of February. Because you can probably finish that game in a week easy. No worries.
I mean, depending on the scale, if this is meant to be like their small side tangent adventure, we've like seen kind of some companies do more and more of, like when Uncharted 4 got its like small spin-off. That, you know, it may only be like a 5-10 hour adventure.
I doubt it, because the Like a Dragon Man Who Erased His Name, that was meant to be a smaller Yakuza experience, and that still took me like 25-ish hours to finish.
Yeah, I was guessing it'd be a 20-something hour game.
Yeah, and they've said that this Pyro Yakuza game is going to be bigger than that, but not as big as like a mainline Yakuza game. But now the naval battle thing has me like, I mean, you built all of this. Like, there's no way this is that tiny.
I mean, it's a team that knows what they're doing, that knows the engine inside and out.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they're able to, and especially with the way that they reuse so much from game to game to game, which is just, it's efficient. It makes sense, you know. There's a reason TV shows reuse the same location over and over and over and over again, and it makes sense for video games to start kind of looking and seeing where that's possible as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, honestly, if like Grand Theft Auto 7 or something, you know, in like 20 years, just reuses like GTA 5 City.
20 years?
Maybe 30.
Maybe.
I don't know. Probably save them some time though.
Could.
Yeah.
What if they just set it in the real world? You just go play Grand Theft Auto right now.
They
go outside and play it.
They just use whatever system Flight Simulator is using, but from the ground.
No, I was talking about just going outside, like right now.
Oh, and just committing Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, it's like playing the game.
Mm-hmm. It's like
you could even get wasted.
That's true in many ways.
Yeah.
So Andrew, I think we were chatting like pre-show too. You were saying like, oh, it's kind of hard to remember some of the.
I'm looking at the list. We got Alan Wake 2 DLC expansion. Probably good because Alan Wake 2 is good. Chronos: The New Dawn from Bloober Team. They said they're finally going to make games that aren't bad, and this is the start. It's a dawn of a new era. That's the new dawn. That's
technically Silent Hill 2 was the start, but they planned to move that going forward.
That's like stealing someone else's homework and claiming it's yours.
Yeah,
and then we got like
depends
a dragon,
how much you change the homework.
Good. Well, sure.
Yeah, just change the words a little. Is that?
Yeah, we got the Mouse PI, which is Cuphead but with guns and your mouse.
Mm-hmm. The first-person shooter one.
Subnautica 2, which I mean, I never played Subnautica 1, but I know people like it, so good for them. I'll be excited for that.
Really good game.
Yeah, and it's coming with co-op too, which I think is the big kind of like anchor for this.
That's the
pun
big
not
deal.
intended.
We got Animal Well, which we talked about. We got Eden Zero, which I don't know, some fucking bullshit weeb game.
Eden Zero is Fairy Tale in space.
Oh, okay. So yeah, super anime.
Yeah. We need you to know that it's not just Fairy Tale in space, as in it's kind of like it. It's the same creator who famously reuses designs. Mm-hmm. So the main character looks exactly like the main character of Fairy Tale, but he has black hair instead of red hair, and the female like secondary protagonist is just the same character.
Are we gonna act like Toriyama's all like main like younger dudes don't look exactly the same?
Oh no, Toriyama is definitely definitely falls for this as well. And it used to be more popular with anime when you had stuff like Clamp doing like Tsubasa Chronicles and Triple X Holic and Cardcaptor Sakura, and it's like the exact same fucking characters.
Yeah. No, it's just funny because when I was watching the trailer, I had honestly completely forgotten about Eden Zero, and that's coming from someone who has read all of Fairy Tale back when I was in my like manga days. Like, I enjoyed the crash course it was on, but then when I was seeing this Eden Zero trailer, I'm like, what the fuck's Eden Zero? And then I see the blonde woman protagonist, and I'm like, is that fucking Lucy? Why is she here from Fairy Tale? Like, who is this? That's how similar I'm talking like these characters are. Like it truly is just fairy tale in
ridiculous.
space.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you got that. Got that Eternal Strange, which is like, hey, we're Monster Hunter with magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
A lot of
kind
a lot of people have been looking at Monster Hunter and being like, how can I have some of this lunch too? I think it's been interesting to see how different companies approach it.
But Eternal Strange does look kind of rad. I won't lie.
Yeah.
It does look pretty neat. You're fighting big old bosses and stuff, flying on things. Some Colossus-like gameplay going on there.
Yeah,
I'm on the boss.
Feels a little Colossus-y.
And Dragon's Dogma-y in that way also.
Yeah.
Hanging on him.
Because it was that game, and I think that Wu Chang
Fallen Feathers.
Yes, yeah, that looked also pretty actiony and like kind of almost Black Myth Wukong-y.
Yeah.
But there was I can't really put my finger on it, but there was something about both of those games that were hyper action trailers that was giving Scalebound to me. Just kind of like almost too good to be true feeling,
Maybe. Could be. And then there's something Mistfall, which is kind of like we have Elden Ring at home. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
From that one. And then The Legend of Babu, which looks, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Legend of Babu just like honestly that looks pretty cool and cute, like the big dog's cute, but the name is just it's a joke name. It's funny.
It's a funny name. Babu. I don't know what to make of it. It's just kind of it's a strange things are going on. The trailer's all over the place. There's a million things happening.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like it was a partner preview, so obviously people knew going into it they weren't going to see,
yeah, the great first party lineup that Xbox has. The amazing lineup. Like, what are we missing out on? Oh my god.
I still have hope for
Halo
Fable,
and Unreal? Yeah.
Perfect Dark. Could finally see more of that. I don't know what's going on with Halo. They're like,
dude, it's in Unreal. Did you see the graphics?
Right, but and like changing the name of the development company is also like so fucking weird.
Because if there's one product at Microsoft that I want to be proudly attached to, that has just nailed it for the past 15 years, it's Halo.
Well,
no failures there.
I can't think of another major studio that's just named after the only games they make.
There's some that are like that. I mean, like Sonic Team famously is just Sonic.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But they're out there. I don't know all of them. I know there's more than them though.
Yeah.
You don't love the long line of fantasy video games Business Unit 3.
Business Unit 3 Crystal Chronicles.
It's the Square Enix and both Nintendo does the same thing where it's just
I always think it's funny whenever I see anything about Resident Evil and they're talking about the RE engine, but like Ace Attorney runs on the RE engine.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know enough about engines to say this emphatically, but I feel like the RE engine has to be one of the best engines made for games.
Dude,
just how widely used it can be.
Imagine Phoenix Wright having to defend like Leon. Like, what was going on? Or going to the scene and what the fuck's happening? That'd be a good game.
Now I'm like really interested in thinking of like other studios that just the name of the studio is what game they make.
Yeah, because like Sonic Team, I guess is the only other one that comes to mind. But it's not like Bungie's like Destiny Studios.
I mean, Sony's probably looking to turn it into.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the Coalition, right, that spun off to just be the Gears of War studio, they're not like Marcus Phoenix Studios. You know what I mean? Like,
could be.
Yeah.
Let's just rename them all.
Yeah.
Just to this franchise you're trapped to.
Just pigeonhole them into one franchise.
Exactly.
Each.
You can't do anything else.
Team Ico. They
started with the first game.
Shadow of the Colossus and Lost Guardian, but like they were just called Team Ico.
Yeah, to start.
That's true.
Then we have the RPG studio. I know it's not a franchise, but it's like, all right. You know what's up.
So I guess overall, how would y'all rate this Xbox showcase?
I'm so tired.
6.
I watched it before I went to bed and I went to sleep. Like, didn't watch it. I looked at the list of
dreams
in the trailer and I was like, none of these. I skimmed them. I'm like, this isn't worth my time. And I went to bed. This is coming from a guy that I've said that these like announcement stream things I can watch all day. Mm-hmm. Like they said, oh, there's 12 hours of showcase today. I'd be like, oh, I guess I know what I'm doing for the next 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No
yeah,
problem.
I wouldn't say it's not the most exciting one.
You gave it a 6 out of like 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've always been too fucking generous. It's like a 4.
Well, I mean, like,
it's a 4 out of 10.
It showed off trailers. Like, at its base, it delivered that.
Well, yeah, but that's all right. Now we're in that's like the bare minimum. That's like the 2 or 3 territories. That's
I mean, like, I would say that was average. If they like failed to show games, that's where I would need the space
but
to
it's
like
the quality of what they're showing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, if we start at a 5 or 6 with this arbitrary scale we're making up on the spot, that you just show trailers, and then if they're bad trailers, doesn't it go lower? Or how do you go lower? Because if it's pass-fail, whether you show trailers, then that's a pass-fail. You can't have a sliding
you go
scale.
lower if there's like technical difficulties or like really poor stuff shown. There wasn't anything
I feel like you're taking
poor.
a shot at the PC gaming show now. This is unfair. This is unfair.
How dare you? Those are 10 out of 10 showcases every year.
Actually,
you're trying to make up
the
criteria.
PC gaming show starts at a 3 because I expected it starts with like a silver briefcase put on the table and they say, "There's a graphics card."
How dare you?
Yeah. I don't know. I will call out, I did like the one nice innovative thing I think they did with the showcase is like after every 5 or 6 games, they just have like a 10-20 second graphic of like, here's the past 5 games we announced again, just so you can like see their names again. I think that was very nice, and I hope more showcases in the future do something like that.
Taking notes, G-Hoff.
I think that's probably just them padding the runtime. Like that's their way of hitting a word count.
All right, we got to hit 27 minutes.
I thought of that too, but then I think like functionally, it is a nice little like mental break from trailers to then like kind of recap and review. You know, like we're in class watching lecture.
Yeah, will it be on the test at the end?
Yeah.
I don't know. I did find that at least kind of nice, like as a quality of life thing. But otherwise, I think, the only thing that really, really stuck out to me was the Yakuza game. Because I know the Alan Wake stuff's big. I mean, there's that multiplayer Alan Wake thing too. I don't know how well that's going to hit for people. But or like, you know, FBC, Firebreak, whatever it's called, like setting the control in Alan Wake universe. But
I mean, it's another
3-person co-op.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Didn't see a lot of unique things to catch my eye this time around.
Yeah,
it is kind of interesting that the FBC Firebreak is like a day one with Game Pass thing after like Remedy has gone from being like, you know, they had Alan Wake, they had day one with their what's it called? What was the time control one?
Quantum Break or whatever?
Quantum
Break?
Quantum
Leap.
Break.
Quantum Leap's the TV show.
Quantum
That's
Break.
right. You're right. Yep.
They had Quantum Break that was exclusive Xbox. Mm-hmm. And then Control seemed to be dominated by the PlayStation marketing. And then, Alan Wake is Alan Wake. And then there's now a play it day one with Game Pass multiplayer title that they've just been kind of, you know, all over the place in terms of
play both sides, dude. You're coming on top.
Yeah, like loyalty isn't the right word, but like, you know, hopping in and out of bed with
they've kind of been
companies.
Until like Alan Wake 2, they've been I guess Control really. Well, Control didn't sell that well. They've been kind of like skating by. So anything they can get, I think, is kind of where they're at, because they make cool games, but they're not really great sellers a lot of the times, even though for how great they are.
They're not like mainstream, like you know, everyone's
still make good
them.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. They deserve it.
Week 2.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's another question for y'all. I think so. Historically, you know, we've talked about quite a few Xbox showcases here in the studio over the past 2 years. Did day one on Game Pass hit you as excitingly as it has in the past? Or is it kind of like
it's worn off?
Day one at Game Pass has come to feel, aside from like the big tentpole games, day one with Game Pass has kind of fallen into the range of like, imagine if Netflix released a big trailer for everything that was going to be on their platform and not just like Lara Croft, the big hitters kind of thing.
Yeah.
That it's just like, oh, it's coming, so it's like cool. Like I'll spin that up at some point, because I continue to pay to have that service, and I think technically now like 4 or 5 devices plugged into my TV, including my TV, can do Game Pass. I think there was a big announcement last week that you're going to start to be able to stream just the games you own through cloud soon. That, I mean, even if it's not a game on Game Pass, if you own Metaphor that is not a Game Pass game,
what if I own on
PlayStation?
Can I do that on there?
You can, but you'd need a tablet with half a DualSense on either side of it.
Yeah, that's the only way.
That sounds like a crazy idea. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that the day one on Game Pass doesn't hit me as excitingly either.
Nah.
Well, I've also I haven't subscribed to Game Pass for almost a year now. Like I decided I don't use it. I should just cut back on it.
How else do you play Starfield?
In my dreams. Mm-hmm.
That's how most of the Starfield people play it too.
Yep.
They imagine what they'd like.
Mm-hmm. And then they just go
Poor
play
bastards.
No Man's Sky instead.
Poor bastards.
But yeah, so I think for me, there's that's my bias, right? It's I don't directly benefit from it anymore necessarily, but even then it's I'm at the point too where I want to play the new Call of Duty that comes out next week, right? And that's going to be on Game Pass. And I think to me, I'm at the point where I would rather buy the game outright than subscribe to Game Pass to continue to get it, you know?
Crazy bastard.
Yeah.
If you're buying 2 Xbox games a year, you're paying for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, part of that decision too is I want to play it on PS5 and not PC. So
well then, fuck Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the novelty
don't wanna
was
play
kind
it
of worn
on the
off because of the ooh, what did they get this time is kind of not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's still bang for your buck. The best way to play games.
Yeah, it is the cheapest way to have a big variety.
No question to me.
I also wonder how much is just I mean, it's not a novelty anymore. It's not like every single conference that we go into now, there's a healthy number of games that are day one on Game Pass. That it's, that has been happening, and they have been so consistent about having that happen. There hasn't been a lull to that and then a peak. It's just been games just keep getting fucking added.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's less interesting now because kind of any game that was day one with Game Pass was a little bit oh, this is a bit of a special treat. Mm-hmm. And now it's well, of course that's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a little passe now, okay, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, which is funny because they have continued to do a really good job with putting titles on there. We're just a little bit muted to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Xbox has also made Game Pass a little more difficult, right? With the different tiers now, and you can only Xbox Cloud stream with the highest tier of Game Pass, right? Game Pass Ultimate. So that's not the only big change that Xbox has done. They've done quite a few different changes in their UI and their systems. I know, Stretch, you've run into some very kind changes to your workflow.
Yeah, I don't know when it happened, but at some point, okay, I did want to quickly just check, and it looks clear filters. Sorry, I just want to see how many games are on Game Pass nowadays, and it looks like it's looks like PC Game Pass has 456 titles.
Wow.
So that's still a shit ton of games.
Yeah.
But no, because like I'm a, I review at TechRaptor, but I also write a whole bunch of guides. And what that normally constitutes is, as I'm playing a game, any game, I am going through and mashing the screenshot button on whatever console I'm playing. Admittedly, a lot of the games that I've been playing recently have been PlayStation titles, like playing Astrobot and other big RPGs, the Final Fantasies, for example. And like when I know that I need to guide a game and I've got sometimes 100-page Google Doc outlining absolutely everything that I might need to know for a guide, I need to be able to go back and get those screenshots. I discovered that the Xbox has a hard limit on 100 screenshots in the system. So after playing Metaphor for 45 hours, I went to go and take a look at some of the previous screenshots I had taken, and I only had the most recent 100, which probably like 10 hours of gameplay. So there's like over half of my playthrough that just screenshots are lost.
Just lost to time.
That even like when you pull up the dash on Xbox and go over, it will, say, do you want to view your recent captures? And then in parentheses, it will have like the number of your recent captures since you have like opened the photos and videos app. And it said 457.
Oh no.
So it retained the number there of how many I took. It just didn't retain the fucking photos.
So this is now a like on system limitation of it only keeps the last 100 screenshots.
Like I honestly, I don't know how long it has been that, or if this has always been the case. I can't imagine that it would have been, because I've definitely reviewed and guided some longer Xbox games, unless I was using like capture software on my computer. It's very strange that there's that 100 limit, which required, and especially like, for the review, you don't want to put into a review screenshots from 50 hours into a video game, especially when there's key things like party members and items and abilities that unlock as you progress. So after beating the game, I then started New Game Plus and then just ran through the first like kind of 2 chapters ish of the game again. Just speeding through dialogue. I had, because you're like, my stupid powerful sword and stuff carried over. So in the battles where, at the beginning where your normal attacks are meant to be doing like 5 or 6 damage, I was doing 80. So that was a pretty nice way to get through that.
Right.
So I've now got my Xbox synced up to my OneDrive, where it will automatically sync every single... Oh, that's another thing. Technically, this shouldn't be a problem if the screenshots are getting uploaded to my account. But a fickle thing with games that are pre-release is that they don't show up. Like, those photos don't auto-upload. So much so that on an Xbox, if you're playing a game that's pre-release, if you go over to the achievements tab, like, you'll get achievement pops, but if you like try to hold down the jewel to like bring it up or go to your achievement list, it doesn't show up there at all.
Oh, that's interesting. But that's just kind of an unfortunate trick of the trade, like for us.
Yeah. So it's pre-release, so nothing was uploading. The screenshot limitation was there. I couldn't see any of my achievements, and I had lost 357 photos.
Jesus. and if you're listening at home and you're like, oh my God, that's too many screenshots, why are you doing that? When you do it for a job, that's pretty normal, I feel like. I mean, same with like photography. Like professional photographers are not taking just one photo of an event, you know, like they sift through hundreds if not thousands, and it's kind of similar for us too. Like you need a lot of screenshots for this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm to pull up my Metaphor ReFantazio guide document, it is 84 pages long, and that is so common for me to get that many for guides. Animal Well was shorter. Creatures of Ava didn't do much. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah, that's also a really long game.
Yeah, that's like 93 pages.
Oh my god, Jesus.
Yeah, 93 pages of story, and that probably goes along with at least 100 gigabytes worth of recorded footage.
Is there a limit on PS5 screenshots?
Your storage space.
Just that.
Yeah, I think the storage space.
That's
because also on that Xbox.
Why would Xbox not have that solution? That's so weird.
Well, I have 800 gigabytes of free space on my Xbox, and that includes at least 200 gigabytes.
3 gigabytes.
That includes space on my internal, as well as I've got the internal drive. I've got the $200 secondary internal drive.
Of course you do.
The proprietary
and
one.
then I've also got 2 externals plugged into that Xbox.
What the hell?
Jeez. Well, it's for all the different versions of Call of Duty he has installed. Each one is like half a disk drive.
It's true. He's a big Call of Duty guy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So when you say that you had to blitz through the first 2 chapters, do you mean like the first 2 like palaces, if we're using Persona terminology, first 2 major dungeons?
I got to the end of the Necromancer, so all of the intro stuff, and then what I guess I would call chapter 1. So prologue and chapter 1.
Okay, because I thought you meant up to the next big one after that.
No, I didn't.
Which would have blown my mind, because it's taken me a week to get to that, and you're just like, oh, let me replay the game in New Game Plus real quick.
Get there real quick.
Hey, I mean, when you like realistically, items, yeah, you'd have all your items. I wouldn't care about ranking up any of the confidants. I wouldn't care about doing side quests. I wouldn't care about leveling up my stats. Right. So,
yeah.
Just a minute. I don't think he's human. I said this before, but I'm like half convinced. So something else is going on here.
Just part machine.
I hope he's not a human in the world of Metaphor.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Humans are the big evil bad ones.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put that randomly in our Slack. I said, man, humans are fucked up, guys. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? But never commented again on it.
I mean, it's also true. But I don't know. Like, there's just been a joke in my head since the game's name was announced that, like, it would end with something along the lines of, it turns out we were the Metaphor the whole time. That's the ending. And the more I play this game, the more
I'd never thought about the idea of Metaphor being in the title being stupid. Like, this is all a metaphor. Like, just so you know, we're being metaphorical. All of our racism is metaphorical. There
is so much that you have left to explore. I really look forward. Like, there is a key moment that you'd probably need to play as long as you have currently been playing to get to like a key moment.
Classic. Yeah.
That is just like, oh damn. That is really fun and silly and cool, and the game's just peak anime. I have such like a love for games that are unabashedly anime. And this just fucking nails it.
Yeah, I mean, this has the subtlety of a hammer, right? Like, this game is so just on the nose with everything. Like, it is genuinely to the point where once I get to the in-game calendar day of September 11th, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I have a feeling. You know what I mean?
You'll never forget, that's for sure.
it's that blatant with everything to me that I'm like,
Actually,
oh my god.
If I remember right, yeah, actually, something major does happen on 9/11.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this game is very much not subtle, and you know, in some ways, I think it's smart. The whole in-game book, right? That like is literally the real world, so all the characters can very directly comment on what it's like supposed to be like.
It's not the real world. There's no bigotry in the book. That is very much not the real world.
Okay, it's a 5-year-old's vision of the real world. The ideal real world, where like it's in our laws to not discriminate, but obviously
unlimited screenshots for all.
Yeah, exactly, right? USI, unlimited screenshots for all. Yep.
USA.
But yeah, it's so blatant that I am on board with it, but it's just fucking also very fun. It's like it's almost hard to take seriously, you know?
A lot of those games are like, I mean, like, this seems to be a pretty big theme with a lot of Japanese. Well, I guess I was about to say Japanese, but this is also the same people. Those SMT games are also very on the nose with like, you're just fighting God now.
Yep.
You're fighting Yahweh, and like, you're just dealing with that now. So it's the same kind of. That's leaking more into the Persona in this. It sounds like the SMT-ness is leaking in more to Persona with that form.
It's a very leaky game.
Gross.
What does that mean?
Just the SMT and the Persona and the. You can tell that this is like we have cherry picked what we love from everything to create this, and I think that in a lot of ways it does successfully elevate a lot of it. Like taking the really good turn combat fight system and making it a little bit more Persona-y, and just making dealing with your followers much more easier. You know, it'll probably be to some people's detriment.
Yeah, I don't know. I will take the convenience over the contrived, even if it is very contrived in how they make it convenient. Like, a big part of the game is you have to travel between like major towns and cities, and it takes time because like this is still a calendar-based game like Persona, so you have to factor in like, okay, if it takes me like 2 days on the road to get to town, we need to like, you know, plan around that. I need to do XYZ things before. But then once you get to a town, you discover that your vehicle is like, oh, there's a magic crystal in here that lets you teleport back to any place you've been to with no time.
Any major city you've been to.
Yeah, no time at all. So go ahead.
Beautiful.
It's like, yeah, it's very convenient, but then it's also like, oh, that just feels too convenient for the you know, suspension of disbelief, but I will take it.
Yeah, there was definitely a part of me that was like, oh fuck, if we're gonna be moving on, like, what if I forgot something in this town? What will I do? Or like, right after you leave, the little girl's like, oh well, the next time you're in town, I would love to hang out. That would be really great. It's like, oh fuck, I don't know when that will be. And then it's like, oh, that can literally be tomorrow. I will just teleport back. No one will be the wiser. Sure.
And it's not just your character, like your whole vehicle, your whole ship teleports back, you know? It's like intense. I don't know.
Awesome.
It feels so silly.
But it's also like, you know, I'm okay with a little bit of like hand waving, like, yeah, there's some bullshit reason that we're going to continue to have the scope of letting you travel around the world without the bullshit of like, you can never return here.
That would make it much more annoying for, especially like that, and the time aspect as well, right? That would just I don't know, that would make the game too stressful, I think.
Yeah. Which, like, doing this game totally blind, I got to the end with full followers and all of the royal virtues maxed out. So it's like, just the fact that like that is, as long as you're not like absolutely dicking around, very feasible. My last like 11 or 12 in-game days, I just napped because it was like, there's nothing to do.
Nice.
Like I could go and do like the on the runner, you can like wash your clothes to slightly increase your max MP, but it's like you get 3 MP each time.
Not
and
worth
that's
it.
it's when there's anything else to do, gaining an extra 3 MP that like is enough to do a level 1 fire spell. It's like that's just not worth it.
No, it's really not. And like I've only done the 2 major dungeons so far, after like the tutorial one, and I finished the first one in like 2 in-game days and the second one in 1 in-game day. So I don't think, like, so far I'm not feeling like I need that extra 3 MP, over the course of a few days of washing my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's riding around stinky ass clothes.
Yep.
I mean, it is a medieval time, right?
Yeah. It's very much so.
BO everywhere.
Yeah, but it is kind of weird. It's like steampunk fantasy, kind of. I don't know. Like, it's not quite fantasy, Yeah. But I still want to play more of Metaphor for sure.
Yes.
I know you two have also played some of Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah.
I played at PAX. He's been playing it for realsies.
The real Jamboree starts here.
Real.
I'm so impressed that they managed to give you like all of the regular options while also giving you so much more to do. That like if you just want to load it up with your friends and play Mario Party, load it up and play Mario Party. I have yet to try like the 20-player mode. But I have been doing the single player mode, which is it's like you go
the Coupathlon, that one, the online.
No, yeah, that's the Coupathlon is the one that I haven't done yet. But the single player mode is like you pick a character and you go to the different game boards before they're open, and it's like all the characters are about setting up the Mario Party.
Oh.
And then you walk around, you have like free roam to walk around the board, and you interact with characters and you get them items from different places in the board, or you play mini games. It'll be like, I'm a toad standing next to one of the bridges in the Wiggler level, in like the beach level. We'll say like, I'm testing all of these bridges out. Can you help me? And then it will load up, the mini game that is you trying to cross a bridge. So they kind of build story purpose into the mini games. And
So
then for
weird.
completing them, you get mini stars. And then after collecting 30 mini stars, there's like a big boss fight.
Okay.
But it kind of lets you explore and be part of like the creation of the board.
Gotcha. Maybe this is just me. I haven't played that much Mario Party. Single player Mario Party sounds kind of sad.
Well, I mean, there's still like single player that you can like 1 person and 3 computers, and you can like play that.
Right.
But yeah, like in general, people will load this up with multiple people.
Yeah.
But if you do want to just play the other modes, and I think that like that's part of it. It's that the Mario Party that is Mario Party is there, but there is more to it as well.
Okay. I mean, I think it is cool at least that they're like incentivizing a little bit of like, oh, there's more to do, like in solo play than just play with AI.
So have you done any of the online stuff?
No, because the online stuff you can't do if you have multiple people playing.
Oh yeah.
And at the moment, I have played Mario Party when I first got it, and I did 2 of the game boards with 3 friends. And then yesterday, I was going to play it all afternoon, and I ended up needing to drive an hour away from home because my wife's car broke down.
Oh no.
And then I needed to wait for her to finish at work to drive her home. So I was in my car for 3 hours without internet playing Mario Party offline on my own.
Alone.
That sounds like hell. You've described hell. I think that's a ring. That's one of those rings of hell that Dante wrote about. I'm pretty sure. I remember talking about Mario Party.
It was fine.
I rescind my statement earlier. Playing Mario Party alone's badass.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to play any of the other modes.
Dude, you gotta try. Those are the best part.
Right, and that's my plan. That's my plan after we stop recording this today.
Did you play the game where you poke stuff in the hole? Poke.
I don't think so. Was that a motion game?
Nope. It's one button.
Okay.
Poke. That's what you do.
One button and you poke.
I don't think so. I don't think I played that one.
The most relaxing thing I played at PAX all week. That whole weekend. I told him that. I said this is the best thing.
I have cut meat. I've done that one.
That's classic. Meat chopping.
And then there are also some interesting like multi
kind of creepily realistic looking steak.
Yeah.
Like Uncanny Valley steak sitting next to Mario.
Exactly.
Or a Goomba.
Wild. But yeah, that's like the second to last major Nintendo game of the year so far, right? Like the next one's that Mario RPG one, the Brothership.
Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
the Switch
the
is
Alarmo.
dead.
Yeah, well, the Alarmo will take up.
Oh, that's right. The Alarmo is the actual new console.
Yeah.
That they released.
Yeah. There's
Who's buying it? Are you buying it? You're buying it.
I'm not buying it, but I know someone who has, and he has it like in hand because I guess like when you have Nintendo Switch Online, right, you can order it right now.
Yeah.
And one of the first pictures he sent to the group chat was he plugged it in, connected it to the internet, and it needed to download an update.
Beautiful.
This is an alarm clock with an update. And
awesome.
I thought that was silly until I realized phones have to update too, and that's my.
I mean, everything
clock, so.
updates now.
Yeah.
Everything wants to update.
Mm-hmm.
Something really stupid update the other day, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, my battery backup. Because I've just been through like the hurricanes and storms and stuff. That I've got like a large battery pack that is like, if you lose power, you charge phones on it. It does have 3 AC plugs on it, but it doesn't have that great a capacity. But just essentially a giant battery pack. I plugged it in. First thing that it did was get a software update.
That's fucking wild.
So you connected that to like Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I can. It's got like full smart monitoring, which is wild because it's
stupid.
Like if it has the smart monitoring, like
reality
it would
sucks.
never.
I hate this. You don't need this. You don't need this in your life.
Yeah, I didn't realize that battery packs like that were smart at all. Everything is smart nowadays.
Everything. Every appliance, every little thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because like, what is there to control on it? You plug things in and unplug things.
You can set like. See, this is the problem: is that I'm not smart. I've forgotten my login.
The other problem.
Wait. If you can't log in, can you charge your shit? Or
yes,
like,
you can still charge your shit.
No, the outlet has little metal doors that close.
Unauthorized user.
Yeah.
Well, we got a specific one that can be upgraded with a solar battery, or with a solar panel, because we live in Florida and we get demolished by hurricanes a few times a year.
State.
Yeah. But you get a lot of sunlight for the solar power.
Yeah.
You're stealing from God if you do that, though. How brazen. That feels like something Florida man would do, though. Like,
probably.
Fuck you.
Steal from God.
Try to steal from God. That'd be a great game. Florida man steals from God. That's a great title for a game.
You mean Persona 6?
Yeah, that's
Florida
basically
man
Persona. That's the next Persona game. Florida man steals from God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's what GTA 6 is all about.
stealing from God.
I don't know.
I mean, it is going to be set in Florida, right?
That's it's some crazy ass thing.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Well, excuse me, Vice City.
True. Yeah. Sorry, Miami, but not Miami.
Totally
I
not
managed to
Florida.
log in. See,
You
so
got
I can,
100% juice.
You're at 100%.
Yep. And it will like let me know when stuff is charging and how long's left. But the weird thing is like I would only use this when I have lost power.
That's what I mean.
If I have lost power, that indicates to me that my Wi-Fi is going to be off.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be able to use the app anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, this really doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Like,
It does technically have a UPS mode. So if I wanted to use it as a gateway for like a bridge for I mean I wouldn't want to run a computer on it because that would be way too much draw.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It makes no fucking sense.
I mean it's still good to have though. I mean you're doing your due diligence, being prepared, yeah. So
yeah.
Prepared.
I guess I could plug my router into it.
Yeah, but then if you have an internet connection.
I mean, like if
Wasn't your internet down for
my
like the
router
past
has
5 days?
power, if my router has power but everything else is switched off, would I still get an internet connection? Because like the coax and the cable doesn't require.
No, I'm assuming that infrastructure outside of your home is there. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was a weird thing that I had that was like update weird, but alarm clock is also strange.
yeah.
So you're buying
I'm
it?
surprised that it doesn't
You're
have
buying it?
Amiibo support.
Oh yeah, why isn't there Amiibo support?
Oh my god, wait.
Those
that'd be so-
idiots.
No, could you you can't turn off the alarm unless you connect an Amiibo to it. You just,
Yeah, you gotta pick up your Amiibo.
I was more meaning like
slap it on
unlocking
there.
additional jingles and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be like how you get the. Maybe that's a functionality coming. Who knows?
maybe. I mean, yeah, they can push out updates whenever, apparently. So
It's true.
Does that
Wait,
does
you
that
have
mean
to
that there'll
connect it
be
to the Wi-Fi?
I'd assume
Yeah.
so.
That's crazy.
It's
Just
probably like
shoot
it
me.
boots up and like tries to pair with your phone, and then you need to connect to its Wi-Fi so that you can transfer to it the
I like
password
the
kind
idea of
thing.
it as a novelty, and then I saw it was $100,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I don't like it so much anymore.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
100 feels like a lot. That's a third of a Switch.
Yeah, it'd have to be half that price. I'd be like, that's still upper range of my noveltiness. Like,
and that it doesn't work with a second person in the room.
Oh, because it's all motion sensing, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Based on you moving, it'll change the stuff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it like it
hilarious.
says on the box that it doesn't function if you have multiple people. And like I sleep with like 2 cats. I mean, obviously I share a bed with my wife, but like we also have like cats
Okay,
that
I'm
get
sorry.
onto the bed and stuff.
The order of that was very funny to me.
Well,
And also my wife's there, I guess. But I got the 2 cats.
well, I was going to give a larger use case for like people with pets. Like if you have, if you have pets that show up, that like hop up onto your bed, like is that going to ruin its functionality as well?
I would assume.
Dude, who at Nintendo has this fascination with sleep right now? With Pokemon Sleep and Alarmo.
Yeah, you're right. But does the Alarmo have a Pokemon on it? I don't think it does,
I
right?
don't remember. I don't think so.
Like
I
it's
don't think
Mario
so.
and Zelda,
Like
Animal
Mario,
Crossing.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're trying to like monetize your sleep, and I think it's gross.
They're trying to monetize every part of your life.
They are. I wrote it. That's what I wrote about Pokemon Sleep. I think it's gross.
But yeah, because they only just added like Apple Watch functionality to Pokemon Sleep, which is weird.
Yeah.
That they really should add it to the Alarmo.
But then why do you need the Alarmo then? Just make it a fucking app.
No, I think Stretch meant like connects the sleep Pokemon Sleep to Alarmo.
Oh,
To Alarmo, if it's going to be like watching what you do anyway.
This Nintendo's just data gathering.
Yeah, it's what you and your 2 cats and your wife do.
Yeah,
Not
Nintendo
just you.
wants to know.
Yeah.
Get Nintendo out of my bedroom. That's gonna be the nerd cry. Get out of here.
I don't know. Nintendo's always been a little bit weird about the lifestyle half of its stuff, of its like hardware, because I remember the DS also had an alarm clock in it, right?
You do
could
all
use
kinds of
it.
stuff with it.
Yeah, it was like, why would you use a DS for your alarm clock?
Why wouldn't you?
Why aren't you buying the Alarmo?
Because it's expensive. And it's
really,
only a clock.
The mobile phone has taken over so many of like what would just be like common additional things to have around your house. Like I'm sure people thought like why would I want a flashlight in my phone to be a thing?
Well,
and that's probably something that is one of the most used features.
Yeah, it's also very annoying to use though.
Are you saying millennials have destroyed the alarm clock industry alongside Applebee's?
You know what? Add that to the list.
I mean, probably.
Where we've kind of fucked everything up, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't wait till we can say this about Gen Z. Gen Z, you little fucks. You ruined it.
Yeah.
You ruined Gary's mod, you little bastards.
You mean Fortnite?
Yeah. I think this is a good place, though, probably to wrap up the pod.
Skibidi toilet reference.
Yeah, a little Skibidi toilet reference and a lot of chat about the Alarmo that none of us have and sounds like none of us will get.
Look, if they want to give it to me, I'll have the box. I don't know if I'll open it.
I don't know if you could even write a review. Like, what would the review be? Like, 6 out of 10. It functions. Like,
I don't know.
Either way. Thank you for
listening.
listening.
I've seen a lot of people saying that it sucks. Sorry.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Fair. But yeah, thank you for listening to this week's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to leave us a comment down below on YouTube or on Spotify. And let us know, are you getting an Alarmo? Does it indeed suck? I really genuinely want to know, because I will never find out for myself. If you want more from us, we're always putting news, reviews, and features out at TechRaptor.net. If you want more from our show, we will be back in your feed next week with an exciting episode you probably will not want to miss. But otherwise, we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.